each month at 5 p.m. All meetings are conducted at PRJ main office 3116 South Street, Portsmouth, Virginia 23707. Unless otherwise noted, all members of the public are welcome to attend. If we can get a call to of order.
Roll call,
Mhm.
Commissioner Cross. All right. Commissioner Morgan. Commissioner Pickens.
Here.
Commissioner Wicks.
Here.
Commissioner Williams
Present.
and Vice Chair Prince.
Present.
We have a quorum.
I'd like to start with Commissioner Pickens being virtual, and take a role in regards to accepting him as a virtual member.
Okay. Commissioner Wicks.
So I need a motion.
Oh, I make a motion.
I second.
Okay. Commissioner Wicks,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Vice Chair Prince,
Yes.
does Commissioner Pickens?
Yeah.
He can vote also, Commissioner Pickens?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up is approval for commissioners meeting minutes. I think everybody got that online.
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second that. We did not have a March meeting. Roll call, ma'am.
Okay. Again, Commissioner Wicks,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Vice Chair Prince.
Yes. Our chair is not here, but as the vice chair and sitting for now, I've been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people in the community in regards to crime, of course, in and around our surrounding areas. I've been trying to point out that a lot of it is surrounding areas and not necessarily our areas. So I'm trying to be a advocate and a voice for our communities that we service, but at the same time acknowledging what they're all saying. So other than that, I'm glad that we're all here, and I thank each and every commissioner for doing their part.
Best we can.
There is no representation from city council this week. Portsmouth Police Department crime update.
So as you
Oh,
stated,
sorry.
I'll call you up. So as you stated, Vice Chair, that we have seen an increase in crime, not only in the city, but also, in our communities. Despite some of the efforts such as, security cameras that we have, paid security staff that we have. And I might add that the paid security staff is very, very expensive, as we all know. It's something that HUD does not provide us funding for. So we're spending to the tune of about $22,000 a month, just for security. That's about $264,000 a year. So I just want you to keep that in mind, as well. Also, we have employment opportunities for our youth, through the Youth Build program. And we have after-school programs through Parks and Rec, that they also provide programming for our youth. And so, because I know it's been a concern of you all, I have asked Assistant Chief Prince to come with his team to give us an update on the crime in the city and our communities. Anything that we can do differently to try to, reduce the crime that we're seeing now. Also, we have our security team that will give an update as well when the police department, so we can make sure that we are also doing our part. And so I'll turn it over to you, Assistant.
Can I ask one question before I'm sorry? Is it possible for you, and I'll look into it myself, are there any federal grants for security for HUD or any other type of housing that we might be able to look for?
We can definitely look. HUD does offer a grant, but it's not for, staffing. It's for the cameras and things, like the hardware, those type of things, but nothing that provides, actual policing and servicing. So we don't have a funding source. So with that being said, that's taking a lot of money from our coffers, to improve our housing, to build new housing and things of that nature. So just want to make sure that, we're doing our part. I know the police department is doing their part, in the effort. And so if is there anything else that you see, Assistant Chief, that we can be doing, please let us know. But, I'll turn it over to you. If you can just give us an update, on the crime that's happened.
So. I'm stumbling when you said update on crime. If y'all know, we had a murder this morning at about 10:15. Way to start my day off. To tell you what we're seeing, that and the last murder, the murder prior to that was, we believe, baby mama drama that went awfully wrong. In both instances, that's what that was. What we're seeing around the city are a bunch of young people, mostly black males and some mixed, black females that are just reacting to received insults that occur on social media. And that's the whole crux of most of what you're seeing in violence. We say, these are my gang people behind me, but what you'll see in Portsmouth is, in some instances, you'll see groups of young people huddled together that form a coalition for protection against other groups. It might be North Side, South Side, whatever it is. We have so many different, I think, upstart groups right now. It's becoming hard to classify them, identify them. Generally, traditionally, a gang is operating for a reason. Sex, money, drugs. There's even one group that we call sex, money, drugs. It's over territory, so on and so forth. A lot of the stuff you're seeing here is over territory to a certain extent. But most of what you see is tit for tat violence. Some of what you see happened before anybody in here was in the seat they're sitting in right now. And now it's just coming to a head, we believe, in some instances where it's payback time. Can we prove it? No. Cannot. Can we intervene? In some instances, you've all seen our violence interrupters on the streets. They're doing their thing. But still, the majority of what we see as violence in the city occurs on social media. In one instance, there was a murder that occurred where I think the message went out, go ahead, roll up, see what happens. He rolled up and put shots through the garage door, and that was that. Didn't carry the hit, but the message was delivered. The problem that we're having right now is once it goes out on social media, they perceive that as everybody has seen it and I have to react. That is their world. Whatever happens on those phones, that is their reality. Their friends see it. The insult is delivered and it can't be drawn back. And from there, some action is required. They take that action usually in the form of gun violence. That's why it's so random. That's why it's all over the place, because there are no rules on taking somebody out. It's where you find them, is where you hit them. If you listen to the rap music that's going around, especially the music that's produced here locally, I'll tell you, look on YouTube if you're curious about what's going on. You've all seen some of the videos that are being produced in our community. They tell you what's going on, they tell you how it happened, where it happened, and why. So it's hard for us to keep up with that because there's so much of it going on. I'll stop talking, I'll let my young man people, I think I just like get everything, but
You did.
man, I'm good sometimes, but go ahead.
Some of the problems that we're seeing also, like none of the cameras in Dale are working. When we log into it, every camera is offline. Some cameras been offline for 200 and some odd days. So when a homicide happens, we rely on those cameras to try and get a suspect. Every time a homicide happens, you can never get a camera directly, it may be another camera off to in a different distance, but you won't be able to recognize any of these, young people that's committing these violence.
Are they off on your side or our side, or we just haven't figured that out yet?
I don't know, because the homicide that occurred in Dale was, they used our footage, so I'm
Right,
not
but
sure
earlier
that.
that day, we was trying to get, to see where they were hanging out at, we were trying to get that particular unit. And they said we can't get it because it's been down
Okay.
all morning, so we couldn't even roll back to see where these, where they came from, to try and pin down the, apartment, area.
Did you have a,
Yeah, the issue with those cameras has been there for a while. We made over that. Issue with the cameras are whenever bad weather is here or whatever, cameras are just shut down altogether. You have to go and reboot it. I put in several tickets to get them fixed. Still doing the same thing. So
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 every
let me
time,
let my IT person speak to that, because he's working with the.
IT here, do it. So those cameras have been an issue. They've been a homeborn issue, well before I got here as well. We have troubleshot them, we have reset them. They'll come back online for a significant amount of time, they can go down. I've also worked with a couple of personnel at the police department who last we spoke, they were bringing out some of their own cameras. They told me they were gonna hook up online. We haven't got those just yet, but I know we were in the process of working those. I have electricians and ITs coming to site next week. It's bigger than the cameras themselves, because we're not having issues with any of the other cameras, any of the other facilities. This is the Dale issue. So there's something at Dale that is causing an issue. We're thinking it's the power grid at this point. That's the issue. Because the cameras themselves, like I said, they're not having issues in any of the sites that we have.
long shot, but could there be a someone, or,
Excuse me,
I said a long shot, but could there be a someone
there could.
that's
possibly be-
involved since it's just
It
Dale?
could possibly be that, but we gotta go through all the avenues, troubleshooting to figure that out.
so they could be possibly being tampered with.
They could be.
well, we could be just need new equipment.
No, they're new. It's-
They're new.
They're new.
So again, equipment's not, when they're up, they're running, we get video of them. Like I said, we've gotten multiple shootings they've had out there, we've had footage of the shootings. Sometimes it's just the areas around there they're not getting, but again, the cameras work when they're up. This, at this point, like I say, we're thinking it's more electrical than it is.
Like my computer.
And it's bigger than the cameras, because, they could be viewed in the cameras and still
Go ahead.
we have an issue or the police department possibly trying to prove or.
So I'll tell you what. We are taking proactive issues. You've seen us out in the community, in the neighborhoods where we do what we call directed patrols. So we do, more centric policing where it's data driven. Wherever the hotspot is at, wherever those events are happening at the most, we focus on the time of occurrence, the location, and we focus our units in those areas during those timeframes, trying to reduce them or move them out. So far, based on the information we had at our last CompStat, we've moved quite a bit of crime, but that doesn't mean that we stopped it. There are some major reductions that have happened since last year, and they continue to happen. It just doesn't seem like they're happening because when we do have homicides or shooting, they seem to be bang, bang, bang. Truth of the matter is, it's bang, 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 stop. Last year was bang, 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 bang. That's bad, but that's an improvement. That's a starting point. What I would say to this audience and to anybody else that would listen is that it's imperative that the people that live in the community continue to call. I know they're gonna be mad, well, 911 didn't answer, and this didn't happen, it took the police this long to get there. I get it. Because when you're in crises, it might only be 5 minutes, but to you, it seems like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to an hour. If you've ever been in a fight, they have, and you're waiting for somebody to come help you out, it's 2-minute fight. It felt like it was about 25 minutes, and where were my buddies at? It's the same thing for the victims, and we realize that.
Yes, sir.
So we partner along with you guys, with special investigation and stuff like that with the cameras or whatever. But, we also have your radios. We answer all fire calls when they come out. You don't have police ones, so when you do get the DVs and stuff like that, we have no clue what's going on until we see a police officer come into the neighborhood. So with that being said, is there any way that we can get police ones so we can be that answer that they're looking for?
I'll pass it on to the chief and, I'll tell you that we went encrypted a while back and we went encrypted for a reason. And it's because the young men and women on the street who are committing the crimes, they're not dumb. These are very intelligent people. They have the technology. They can hear, see everything. Did y'all know that in some municipalities that some of the more violent areas and some of our more serious drug dealers are using drones for surveillance? Yeah, they're beating us to death with technology. So we're trying to get ahead of that. So I'll just
We
throw that out.
called in on one in Parkview not too long ago,
It's there. Drones don't cost
right
that
in
much.
front of your window.
Yeah, they don't cost anything anymore. You can go into Sam's and get a real nice one, as a matter of fact. For, I think it's under $800. You can do it. The technology, all you need is a cell phone and connect here in business. But like I said, we're trying to do proactive things in the community. The biggest thing that we're doing is we're being seen. That's how we get our report card. Doesn't matter all the little arrests that we make when nobody knows about it. They don't count to the public. What counts is when they see a unit in their neighborhood and those lights are on. That officer could be tap dancing inside the trunk with nobody seeing it, but people see that car and the lights on, they see police action and it makes them feel comfortable. And with that said, we don't mind putting the car there so some people have a sense of mind. Crimes do not generally occur right in front of us when we have those lights on. Not generally. So we're doing a few more things where we're starting to have some of our units set up so they have a static display. When I say static, they have a cruise, it's called cruise configuration, where the lights come on, not flashing, but a solid blue or red when you drive through the community. Please, people see that community, that police light reduces crime. That's proven. So we're doing things along that line. We got a few more plans in action right now. Our crime intel unit is in need of your cameras. That's one of the biggest things that we got. Because we're going to go real time so that we can do a lot more for the community and for the city. If we get our real time crime intel center up and running, we should have the capability, and I'll say that to this audience, where we can view things. If there's a call, say in Dale's home, our intel people can pop online, start viewing the cameras, giving officers instruction on where they need to go, what they need to be doing, and in some instances, back things up so they can see what happened before.
Okay.
So we're trying to be progressive in that way.
On that note, and to say hello to our city council liaison. Where are we with the gun prevention task force?
So that is gonna be a conversation on Tuesday. As far as their points.
Okay.
And then of course, we've been in communication with our manager to, for the mission of it and things of that nature. So we should be able to see that coming up.
And do you have anything else to share with us, sir?
Yeah, well, first of all, good evening. Sorry for my tardiness, I just left a budget hearing. Happenings with council. So Tuesday, we have our public hearing on our budget, our second public hearing. Where we'll be discussing, was an opportunity for the public to discuss their desires when it comes to our overall budget, CIP, and then our, what we call community development grants. So we encourage people to come out and speak to those items. Other than that, and the other big item in the city right now is Mr. Carter, our new manager. He starts on Monday. And so tomorrow he'll be sworn in at 5 p.m. at City Hall. So we're encouraging people to come meet him. He'll do a small meet and greet tomorrow, and of course, over the next few weeks, he'll get into the community, meet with everybody. That's really about it. I just want to thank the police department for what they're doing. And it's a hard time right now to be a police officer. And so I definitely take my hat off to all the men and women in that department, especially with everything that's going on. But I will say that under Jenkins and Frank, so I do believe that, we're moving in a much better direction. And I think you brought up a good point where, right, it seems as of the last couple of weeks, things have just been bam, bam, bam. But statistically, there has been a decrease compared to previous years. So anything that we can do to continue to support police and support PRHA, you know, we're willing to make those things out.
Sir, anything more from the police department or our security?
On the ban part, when the ban that we do for people that trespassing on PRHA property, do you guys have an updated form that we can use, before the water department? Okay, I'm gonna give you my information.
You make sure you get it and update the ban list as well.
And is there any, accountability for the residents that allow these, youth to hang out? And, we find, some of the cameras that we see, they run to one location. They all hanging out at somebody's, residence there. Is there any accountability that y'all need from us to help assist y'all on
Yes.
getting them removed?
Yes, so actually, yes, I'm glad you brought that up because our residents are responsible for their guests that come onto the property. And so in certain instances where they're involved or their guests are involved in criminal activity, we can't issue a 72-hour lease termination. So if you find that that's a problem, let me know. The more evidence you have will be better in case that they go to court. So a lot of times they'll leave on their own within 72 hours. Sometimes we have to go through court and then the judge want to see evidence of why we are evicting or terminating that family. So as much evidence as you have, you know, just let us know. If you see the cameras.
Just, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what would constitute as evidence for you? Are you talking about just pictures? Would you use social media pictures and stuff of that nature?
It's on our property, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Like the videos on YouTube?
The videos on YouTube, the incident we had, before in Lexington, the person that were firing shots was a guest of a resident in Lexington. So we issued a 72-hour lease termination because we could clearly see through the cameras that he went into her unit.
Right.
You know, okay, so things like that and the cameras help us. So
Well,
we go to court.
Are your guys' property still gun-free zones?
So that's a little challenging when you say gun free. So
Right.
they have a right to bear arms.
Right.
So, so yes, that is challenging. So as long as it's legal, then we're okay.
Okay.
And we also have our call for service log that every call that we go on, dispatch will record this call. So, I used that previously before. I showed how many times we've been to a resident. And if they went to court, the judge saying, wait a minute, the police responded 30-something times in a 2-month period. That's not normal.
Right.
That goes under the nuisance law, that nuisance house.
So that would be helpful. Yes, absolutely. And information like that would be helpful. Because I want the residents to understand that, you know, we have a zero tolerance. Okay. And so we want to get them out fast. 72 hours if I can. You know,
Okay.
in some instances I have to do 30 days notice. But in certain circumstances, I can do a 72-hour lease.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir? You had,
No, that's.
okay. Well, again, to piggyback, thank you. Our security, the police. I can't say it enough that, you know, you guys have a hard job, that you're out there and we appreciate you for sure. And as a citizen, I appreciate you. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
For the record, yes.
So no, who's here?
Is there a sign-in sheet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's on it.
Yeah, just make sure you
Just
decide.
before you leave, yeah. And for the record, Ms. Cost is here. Executive Director's comments?
I just have a few comments. One of the things is Saturday, we had our community day. And so we had a good
Good sign.
turnout there. I want to just show you some little highlights from the community day. We had over 100 residents that participated. We had the fire department, the police department was there, some of our community departments, the health department. And so it was an awesome time.
Mr. Pickens, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just make sure.
See a little bit.
Huh?
I tried to call you, did you get work?
Speaking of Mr. Pickens.
That's just a little snippet I have for you, okay? We have a much, longer version, but I didn't want to take up all your time with that today. So it was a good turnout, was very successful. Our resident they appreciated the event. You know, a lot of times we're there, we're having issues or challenges. And so this was a day for them to come out, also showcase the new Lexington seniors that we have coming up. So, and just, you know, showcase the good that we're doing in the community. So, thank you to the police department that was there and all of our community, supporters for that event as well.
Is it possible that you could do this for City Hall? Just to say, we are out here, we are active, and that we're doing stuff for our community. Because the interactions that I've had with City Hall in the past have not been all that good in regards to the RHA communities. And I think that, I just don't think that they're seeing or hearing a lot of the stuff that's actually being done. So is that a possibility?
I will hear back.
Well,
Let me know.
We have a new manager. He'll be there on Monday. I think there's a conversation that you're and Jake, and I'm sure he'll be willing to have that conversation.
And I'm certainly willing to participate. You know, before we had a joint meeting with the city council, we did not have one last year, but maybe that's something that we can implement back, is having a joint meeting with city council. I think that would be helpful.
I was at that one.
That was the last one?
That was the last one.
That was the last one.
Open pros on council.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. It was. It was. Just a couple of other things. Now, we need to, schedule a date for our board retreat. And I sent out a doodle poll for you all today, so please complete that. And let me know what date you are available, what dates work for you before we go ahead and move forward.
Where is that gonna, it's gonna be here or Bloom or what?
We're gonna, the location to be determined,
Okay.
but we'll make sure it's nice for you, okay? I also want to announce, the retirement of our CFO, Ray Reyes. Oh, okay, I just see. So he's going to be leaving us, and so in closed session, I will discuss that a little bit more with you all, on the next steps with that. We have a HUD visit scheduled for April 30th and May 1st. They'll be here on site. And I will provide additional information, after that meeting.
All right. Unless you guys want to stick around.
I've been up since 2. We appreciate the invite.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all.
Thank
Be
you.
safe out there.
Thank you.
We have to sign in before you leave?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, thank you.
Would be now. One thing I will say is, don't y'all get pulled into a gun buyback. They don't work. Sorry. We
Okay,
get granddaddy shotgun, we get some really good looking BB guns. And ain't none of these young cats out here gonna give you that AR pistol
Right.
for the money that you offer.
All right.
And those are hard facts. It's just not gonna happen. It sounds good. There's good intent behind it. They just don't work, unfortunately.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, she fine.
I'm getting there, don't worry.
Thank
It's been a long day, Chief.
Was there any unfinished business
Thank you.
Thank you.
that we had? I believe there was. Action items, resolution 2024-10.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority to obtain to financing in connection with certification of the King Square revenue bonds.
Mr. Ray.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
BRHA issued a 2006 series revenue bond in the amount of $6.5 million for the construction of King Square Apartments. In November of last year, we received a notice to redeem the bond by Merrill Lynch Management, who is the holder of the bond. The outstanding balance on the bond is approximately $2.9 million. After reviewing the bond indenture and all applicable documents, our counselors, Reno and Kavanaugh, concluded that our best options are to either pay off the bond using PRHA funds, if we have them, or to refinance the debt with conventional financing. The bond redemption is due June 1st. We received a grace period of about 30 days from Merrill Lynch. And right now, we are exploring the second option, which is to refinance the bond. And we are talking to Town Bank currently. Also, TGA Associates, our financial consultants, are assisting us in the search. And they have contacted Merchant Bank as another possible option to refinance. The purpose of this resolution is to request authorization for the executive director to pursue any appropriate financial option in relation to the notice of redemption.
Okay,
That's it.
we're in need of a motion.
I move that we approve resolution
Oh,
2024-10.
We have a motion and a second. Roll.
Commissioner Coast?
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Witt?
Yes.
Vice Chair Prince?
Yes.
Mr. Weston, he's presenting the financials under Department update.
Okay, there we go. Department updates.
Okay, we just finished the first quarter of 2024. And
Your packet, your financial package is in
Be
the.
into your left.
Okay.
And in the first quarter, we had, our revenue was exceeded our expenses by $391,728. None of our properties ended in the red. We also ended with a healthy cash position, which is made up of restricted and unrestricted cash. You have the details in your package if you are interested in knowing the specific amount. On the front, you see the balance for each of our properties and funds. And those figures include restricted and unrestricted. And each one of the pages behind it breaks it down for you. So if you wanted to see the details, is there. I'm always available if you want to go deeper. So this does not include our investments, and those were reported to you on the first quarter, in the last quarter of 2023. It hasn't changed much.
Commissioners? Commissioner Pickens, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Commissioner Williams?
No, it's information.
Thank you, sir. Any other department updates?
No.
Okay. Here, PRJ, public speakers are allowed 5 minutes to speak. Are there any public speakers? Seeing as there are none, I will go to the resolution for closed meeting. Resolution number 9, sorry about that. Resolution 2024-11 of intent to meet in closed meeting, whereas the Virginia Freedom of Information Act provides that the Board of Commissioners can meet in closed meeting for litigation matters as set forth in section 2.2-3711A7 of the Code of Virginia. Now therefore be it resolved that that in compliance with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and the above referenced section of the Virginia Code, the Board of Commissioners shall reconvene in closed session on April 18, 2024 for the discussion of personnel matters pursuant to Virginia Code, section 2.2-3711A7.
Make a motion to.
Section 81.
So it's not 1A, it's A1? Okay, Virginia Code, section 222, wait a minute. 2.2-3711A or A1-7 of the Code of Virginia.
No, sir.
No 7, it's just A1, sorry.
A1.
I'll do that again. 2.2-77 1 or A1.
I make a motion to go to.
Sorry about that. Do we have a motion second? All right,
Okay,
closed session. Vote.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Yeah.
Commissioner Wick,
Yes.
Commissioner Cost. Yes. And Vice Chair Prince.
Yes. And now closed session.
Do I have to log off and log back in?
No, you're the only one up here.
Okay.